Hello everyone, welcome to Augment Tech. In this session, we will learn about machine learning life cycle. By the end of this session, you should be able to understand what is machine learning life cycle, what are the different steps involved, like gathering the data, data preparation, data analysis, train model, test model, and deployment. I'm excited to get started and I hope the same from you. Let's get started with machine learning life cycle. Machine learning lifecycle is a cyclic process to build an efficient machine learning project. The main purpose of lifecycle is to find a solution to the problem or project. The machine learning lifecycle is a cyclic iterative process with instructions and best practices to use across defined phases while developing a machine learning workload. The machine learning lifecycle adds clarity and structure for making a machine learning project successful. Machine learning lifecycle involves seven major steps, which are as follows. First is data gathering or gathering the data. Then we have data preparation, data wrangling, analyze data, train the model, test the model, and then the final step of deployment. Now let's have a look at all these steps one by one. So now let's see what is gathering of data. So the goal of this step is to identify and obtain all data related problems. We need to identify the different data sources as data can be collected from various sources such as databases, files, internet, or even mobile devices. It is one of the most important steps of the machine learning lifecycle. The quality and quantity of collected data will determine the efficiency of the output. The more the data, the more accurate the prediction will be. This step can include tasks such as identifying various data sources, collecting data, and integrating the data obtained from different sources. By performing all these tasks, we get a coherent set of data, also known as data set, that could be used in the further steps. Now let's move on to the next step, that is data preparation. So data preparation is a step where we put our data into suitable place and prepare it to use in our machine learning training. In this step, first we put all the data together and then randomize the ordering of the data. This step can be further divided into two processes. That is data exploration. This step is used to understand the nature of data that we have to work with. We need to understand the data, the characteristics, the format, and quality of the data. A better understanding of data leads to effective outcome. And in this, we find correlations, outliers, and general trends of the data. Then we have data pre-processing. So now the next step is pre-processing of data for its analysis. Next, let's move to the next step, that is data wrangling. So it is a process of cleaning the data, selecting the variables to use, and transforming the data in a proper format to make it more suitable for analysis in the next step. It's one of the most important steps of the complete process, and cleaning of data is required to address the quality issues. And whatever data has been collected may not be a useful data. So in real world applications, collected data may have various issues like missing values, invalid data, some kind of noise, or even duplicated or redundant data. So we can use various filtering techniques in order to clean the data. And it is mandatory to detect and remove this issue as it can negatively affect the quality of outcome. Now let's move to the next step, that is data analysis. Now the clean and prepared data is passed on to the analysis step. These steps involve selection of analytical techniques, building models, and then review the result. So the aim or goal of this step is to build a machine learning model that would analyze the data using various analytical techniques and then review the outcome. It starts with determination of type of problems where we select the machine learning techniques such as regression, cluster analysis, classification, or association, and then build the model using prepared data and then lastly evaluate the model. Hence, in this step, we take the data and use machine learning algorithms to build the model. Now let's see train model. So the next step is now to train the model. In this step, we train our model to improve its performance for better outcome of the problem. So here we use data sets to train the model using various machine learning algorithms, and training a model is required so that it can understand various patterns, rules, and features. Based on this step of training the model, the machine could learn using the historic data and should be able to predict the outcome based on the test data. Now let's see what is the test data. So in this step, we check for the accuracy of our model by providing a test data set to it. Testing the model determines the percentage accuracy of model as per the requirements of project or problem. So by providing the test data, here we check how much our machine learning model has been learned or trained by the historic data. Hence, this step determines the percentage accuracy of the model as per the requirement of the project. Now let's move to the last and final step, that is deployment. So the last step of machine learning lifecycle is deployment, where we deploy the model in the real world system. And if the above prepared model is producing an accurate result as per our requirement with acceptable speed, then we deploy the model in the real system. But before deploying the project, we will check whether it is improving its performance using available data or not. The deployment phase is similar to making the final report of a project. And the deployed models need monitoring. You need to track deployed model performance in order to make sure that it continues to do the job with the quality that the business requires. We know about some negative effect that can happen. Over time, model degradation is one of the most common ones. So, another good practice would be to collect samples that were wrongly processed by the model to figure out the root cause reasons for why it happened and use it for retraining the model, making it more robust to such samples. Such little continuous research will help you better understand the possible edge cases and other unexpected occurrences that your current model isn't prepared for. So by now you should have a solid understanding of the entire machine learning project life cycle. And let's conclude by saying that the quality of data that goes into your model is a key driver of a good model. So that was all about the machine learning life cycle and the steps involved in it. That's all for the session. Hope you enjoyed the session. We'll see you in the next.